Hey everybody, I'm still dealing with that last big jalapeno harvest I have. The plants have just gone absolutely crazy this summer, and I feel like every summer with my jalapeno plants, I get to the point where I'm just overwhelmed and have made jalapeno hot sauce, made pickled jalapenos, jalapeno poppers, and everything I can think of, and just need to punt and store some for a bit. Dehydrating is one of my favorite ways to do this because it's very simple and takes up not much space at all. They keep really well when dehydrated, and there's a lot of options of things you can do with the dehydrated jalapenos. My preferred method is cutting them into rings, seeds and all, and I'm just slicing them into 1/4 inch wide slices that's about 6 millimeter thick rings before spreading them on my dehydrator trays. I like the rings because it gives them more surface area to dehydrate and really speeds things up. Also, they look pretty cool when they're dehydrated. But here I've just spread them out on my trays, allowing for some airflow around them. Once they start to dehydrate, they'll actually get smaller and there will be more airflow around them. So that will help, but this is about the most crowded that I would do a tray. While I'm here, I have to say RIP to AeroGarden. Here we have some hatch chilies growing in the AeroGarden. These are the biggest chilies I've grown in the AeroGarden to date. And then I just have some basil propagating too. But here's one final look at these peppers before I start dehydrating them. I actually got 5 whole trays in the dehydrator. So all that's left is to throw on the lid and set this thing. I like to run it at 140 degrees for 12 hours. So I will be providing updates as this one goes. We've got 9 hours left, so we're only a quarter of the way through our process, and these things have already shrunk considerably and are curling up a little bit. Like most cooking processes, though, it's good to rotate things as we go, so I like to unstack and restack my dehydrator trays in a different order a few times throughout this process, just to be sure that they're all done at the same time. I know that the bottom tray of my dehydrator tends to be a little hotter. Approaching the halfway mark here, though, these things really do look visually like they're done, but it's not until we feel them that we notice that there's still quite a bit of moisture in them. You can see how flexible that one is. So we'll let them go this additional 6 hours to hopefully draw that last bit of moisture out of them, get them nice and dry and brittle. Okay guys, we're at the end of our 12-hour dehydrate, so let's check these jalapenos out. You can see that they have shrunk a lot throughout this process. Overall, our tray looks much less full than before. That being said, though, they don't look a ton different than how they looked 6 hours ago, but getting that last little bit of moisture out of them is actually normally what takes the longest amount of time. And although they don't look different, you can hear the difference. See how dry those sound when you just bump them? You can hear them kind of rattling along this tray. And the biggest difference is if we were to grab one of these, if I squeeze it, you see how it just shatters. Before, remember, it was bending. So that's always how you can tell, or how I like to tell if they are dehydrated or not, is if there's any kind of squish left to them or any give, then they still have that moisture in them. But if you can take one of them and just completely crunch it, that means that it's dehydrated. So I'm about to get all these out and put them in a jar and check out how many we got. I'm just gonna be putting these in a mason jar, wide mouth jar with one of these convenient plastic screw-on lids. But again, as I drop them in, you can hear just how brittle they are and dry. And that's how we know that there is no more moisture in them. All right, check it out, guys. This is our final product. These things look really pretty just here in this jar, but they'll look even better on some food. And there is all kinds of stuff you can do with these. You can put them just as garnish on like a bowl of chili, or even in a cocktail, a spicy cocktail. Always good. You can grind them into powder, mix them with salt, make a seasoning salt, use it as part of a rub for anything you're cooking, really. You can even rehydrate these and make hot sauce or whatever you would do with regular jalapenos. So very cool. I really appreciate you guys watching this one. As you can see, I have more jalapenos on this plant again, so I'll probably be doing this again soon. A lot of these have turned red, so that's always super cool to see. We got red ones and green ones on the same plant. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to give a thumbs up to it and subscribe if you haven't. So thank you guys so much, and I'll see you on the next one.